If you want financial freedom, time freedom, and want to leave a legacy for generations to come, you probably have heard real estate investing is the place to do that. How do you get started? What do you have to do? When's the right time? If you are looking for those answers, you've come to the right place. My name is Kyle Stanley, and this is Fearless Flipping. My mission is to help you learn this business and conquer real estate investing. If I've ever been more excited for a show, it is this one. Tashiona King Stout, who doesn't really have a name in real estate per se, in the media or anything like that. She's just been all around it though for the last 16 years of her life. And today she is choosing to share about Airbnb. She's done it all: wholesaling, flipping, developing, managing, a lot of different things. But Airbnb is a passion for her, just like it is for me, because there are systems that can be put into place to make this thing completely passive, and all you've got to do is keep on finding deals. So Tashiona King Stout, the Fearless Flipping, the show notes are going to be at fearlessflipping.com/king, King. And once again, if you find something either in this episode or in previous episodes that has been of value to you, that has helped you to either jumpstart your business, advance your business, whatever have you, make sure that whether you're on the podcast or the YouTube channel, you're either leaving a comment or writing a review that is including what exactly you have learned or what has helped you in advancing your business. We're going to give you a shout out on the next episode if you do that. And that is what is going to happen for you. Now, if you look to this quote behind me, if you're on the YouTube channel, Warren Buffett says, if you never find a way to make money in your sleep, then you will die, or you'll work till the day that you die. And that is exactly why I love real estate. That's exactly why I'm a part of real estate, is because I believe that no matter where you're at in real estate, you can find ways to make it passive through systems. Today, we're choosing to talk about Airbnb. And so before I just keep on rambling about this and get too excited, I just want to send it right now to our interview with Tashiona King Stout. Airbnb automation at its best with Tashiona King Stout. That is what I'm excited to talk about today. So Tashiona, as we discussed in the last episode, this whole thing of Airbnb, it's just one other way to invest in real estate, whether you actually own the property and are renting it out through Airbnb, or you're doing rental arbitrage and are just taking over the rent or taking over the mortgage and doing it that way. Either way is great, but no matter which way you do it, the systems are what truly matters. And what I love is that you have automated systems where you get to really leverage your time to go find more Airbnbs or more opportunities for yourself. So I just want to kind of give you the floor. What are some of your favorite ways to leverage your time through this automation process of Airbnb?
Well, the August law. And I'm sure there's other locking systems, but for me that's a big one, because obviously in the beginning you're meeting guests, and so if guests have a change in travel plans or when they're arriving, sometimes you're getting up in the middle of the night to go get them and leave them keys, or
Right.
you're doing kind of the old lockbox system. And for me, in the beginning, I wanted to see the guests to make sure it was actually, who was on the reservation. So the August lock, and coupled with, Airbnb's system now where you can require your guests to upload government issue ID, that's been helpful for me.
So talk a little bit more about, and can you spell that for our guests or our guests? See, you've got me thinking about Airbnb for our audience. What kind of lock is that?
So the August, like the month,
Okay.
August.
Mm-hmm.
So the August lock, there's a couple of things. You can have your guest put an app on their phone and they can get a code, or you can lock and unlock the property remotely. So the guest can contact you and say, hey, I'm here, you can unlock it, or they can say, hey, I'm leaving, and you can lock the property.
Mm.
So for me, that was great, I guess, because like I said, especially if you don't want to be in traffic or waiting, it's just convenient.
Absolutely. Well, and you get those guests every once in a while, and I'm sure your experience has been very similar to mine, which is most of the guests on Airbnb are phenomenal, especially if you're
Absolutely.
attracting, corporate or luxury type of stays, you're going to get that type of person. However, some slip through the cracks. Sometimes we're desperate for those bookings and we see 0 reviews and we say, we'll take the chance. And now we're like, shoot, this person either trashed the place or stole something, and they have a key or they have the lockbox code. Well, this just takes that entire issue out of there and allows you to be able to know that, hey, I can change the code, I can lock it and unlock it remotely.
Right.
It gives you a lot of peace of mind, right?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely.
That's
Because we've
great.
definitely had guests come back and stay with a regular key, and we didn't have a booking. So it just happened. I guess that's another thing about cleaning. I guess a system for cleaning. And this is something that someone shared with me. One reason why you should always clean the unit right after the guest leaves, whether or not you have another booking or not. That's for a couple of reasons.
Yeah. You're saying to make sure that they're not still there?
Not only that, but if something happens with another unit
Mm-hmm.
and you need to put your guests somewhere else, they have a unit that they can readily, go to. So I've had people share that with me. I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. And so I probably would have avoided that if we would have done that.
So in an effort not to scare people away from doing Airbnb and just for pure entertainment, because I'm sure you've got some stories like I do. Have you had any guests that have left you with a headache, and how did that end up getting resolved and maybe turn into a good thing?
Really, I haven't had
That's great.
any bad Airbnb guests. Now I've had a friend who called and needed some help for a guest who was seemingly disheveled, and it included blood, and they believed there was some type of party, and the woman who was in the unit wasn't the person who originally rented. But I haven't had anything severe. It might be like, oh, someone broke a lamp, or you've got to tell someone to quiet down. But I haven't had any Airbnb horror stories, thankfully.
So why do you think that is? What system do you have in place that is attracting good quality people?
Well, I think the questions that I ask I still am very personable in that, right? So I ask questions. If it's not someone I can readily look at and see the type of travel they are, and when I say that, they're obviously traveling for business pretty frequently. So most recently here, I've had some new travelers because I told you I've gotten some new places in Airbnb. I'm in Atlanta for Airbnb. So I've had people with no ratings. And so I've definitely asked the question, oh, what brings you here? And not in a way like, why are you coming here? But what brings you here? What about our property attracted you to, what about our property attracted you to it? What can I do to make sure you have a more accommodating stay? And generally those answers kind of let you know if people are really there to stay. Because I had someone ask if we had a barbecue grill and a speaker or something that led on like you're probably trying to have a party, and they never responded back when I asked. So
hey, Fearless Flipping community, we are taking a quick break from the podcast to talk about Airbnb. For those of you that don't know, I have built much of my residual income around Airbnb. Despite a lot of other investors being really excited about long-term renters, I was not. I saw an opportunity with Airbnb to get to my goals faster, to get more cash flow, and to pay off my houses quicker too. So instead of being really happy like a lot of other investors are with $200 to $300 of cash flow every single month, I've turned my renters and rentals into over $1,000 on average of cash flow every single month. So if you want to learn more about Airbnb, my systems, where I pick my Airbnbs, how I communicate with guests. Maybe you've already got Airbnb as a business on the side right now, but you want to take it to the next level. I am absolutely here to help you. You can book a free consultation with me about Airbnb. Learn more by booking at fearlessflipping.com/consultation, and you get me for 30 minutes for free. That's right, 30 minutes absolutely free. That's once again, fearlessflipping.com/consultation, and I'm looking forward to helping you conquer Airbnb investing. You know what's great there too, and I don't know if you've had this experience, I've actually had Airbnb cancel guests on its own saying, hey,
Oh,
we thought that this might end up being a fake person, or because of their past that this was not a good fit. I don't know if you've experienced that. That just actually happened to me for the very first time. And I was like,
really?
wow, Airbnb is looking out for me.
No, I have never had that happen.
Maybe it's a Fresno
Never.
thing. We got some sketchy people over here.
Oh wow, I've never had that happen. But the other thing is, and I realize, so on properties that are already operational and going, I don't have that. So Instabook. But on newer properties, they have to have their government ID
Mhm.
verified. Obviously you can select that, but I don't know. I didn't know they did that. It's interesting.
Yeah, and that was the thing for me was, well, how did this get booked if they have a government ID? Because I have the same thing. They have to have a government ID.
Hmm.
But before we get too far off topic here, I want to make sure people really understand how much time you're putting in, or how much communication you're actually putting in to this whole Airbnb thing. So from the time someone requests to book to the time they check out, how much time are you actually putting in for that?
I don't know, maybe an hour cumulative, because it's really a matter of me, and I guess this is me being a macro manager, but me responding to, again, their inquiry, and then me letting know the cleaning team to go back over and look, the host that's going to assist with their check-in, give them the information. And it may, I don't know, I don't want to exaggerate, it might be less than that, because obviously there's co-hosts added, you can add co-hosts. So like just in training people on how to respond, the time frame in which they need to respond to the guests and what can be expected. So I think I'm probably more so like just in the training, because I really want to, like I told you, remove myself from it and focus on the development. But it's not a significant amount of time
And would
at
you
all.
say your average turnover is 3, 4 nights, somewhere in that area?
Where people come and stay, probably lately though, for whatever reason, they're doing a lot of filming and stuff in Atlanta. So we're probably more at like 5 to 7, like about a week.
So,
And unless there's like something special going on, like I told you before, we try to like maximize those times. But
so
outside of
I just want to make sure people understand this, because I think one of the big reasons that people don't get involved in Airbnb is because they think, oh, I've got to go clean the place and I got to contact, communicate with the guests all the time. This is just such a headache. It's a lot of work. And then they start to look at it, instead of a passive income, as an active income. But
Mhm.
because of these automated systems that people like you have in place, that I have in place, based on the numbers that you're telling me right now, you might have a turnover of 7 to 8 different sets of people every month that you're putting in 30 minutes each to. That's 4 to 5 hours that you're putting in every month, and netting, like you said on our last call, as much as $2,800 in one
Yeah.
month. That's a pretty passive effort, if you ask me. So I love that you have all these things down in a system. I'm a systems person. One of the other things that you were telling me about is Guesty, and how that's helping you. Can you just share a little bit about that system and how it's helping you to automate some things?
So Guesty is more so for like I told you, other investors we have who really don't want to be involved as much at all. So it just allows them to go in there and see when their space is booked. Because we used to have another platform where guests could book in addition to Airbnb. We used to have an independent website as well. So you can link those things, and it would allow the investor to go in there and see when their space was booked, what it was booked for. It's almost like Airbnb's system, except for it's more advanced. So there's algorithms, and again, I'm not techie. I don't necessarily understand all of this. That can tell you what you should be renting the property at, based off of supply and demand and what's going on. And then it allows the investor or the co-host, however you want to put it, to go off and block their own dates. So I'm really not big in tech, so the Airbnb platform works well for me. And I don't know if that's something that I'll use long term, just because it's simple to me to just go on Airbnb. I can see everything right there. I don't have to, learn something. But for someone like, yourself, where this is like your primary income, I think it's a benefit. And but for me,
Or maybe someone that has more than 5 or 6 properties, just one place.
yeah, but for me, I'm just like, I don't want to use it. So
Got it. Got it. Okay. What about cleaning? How are you? Are you just hiring a cleaning company? Do you have someone that you know personally that's going and doing these? How do you handle that?
So now I have someone who has their own cleaning company. So I've done both. Well, actually, all three. So I've definitely cleaned a unit myself, which doesn't work because I have someone who comes and help me with my own personal home. So that
Right.
wasn't going to be Airbnb. And there's also kind of the DIY method where you can incorporate, and I've done this before, the host to do it. Because now in most cities, they're familiar with Airbnb. So a lot of times, laundromats, you can go and drop off your linen and things like that, and they'll assist you in it. So you can just tell the host, hey, this is what you do. And then you incorporate your guest. So I've kind of done the DIY method where it's like almost a cooperative effort where you tell the guest, hey, take the trash, put it by the door, load the dishwasher, take all the linens off the bed. And then at that point, the host, they'll come in, they'll take the linen to the laundromat, they'll make sure that the dishwasher is actually ran, they'll put away the dishes, and then now there's a professional cleaning company. For me, having a professional cleaner is the most seamless way because you don't have to, worry about the ball being dropped. So that's what I utilize.
Yeah, and I don't know if you run it the same way as me, but that's kind of essentially my boots on the ground, my eyes on everything is, hey, we're low on this, or hey, this is missing, or something got broken. Is that the same for you?
It is. So actually just again, I guess I'm not that hip with technology, but like Google Sheets. And so there's inventory on all the properties, what's in there, what's supposed to be in there. And then I have the cleaner go and she takes pictures. So she knows what's supposed to be in there. After you go in for a while, they know what's supposed to be in there. And then as far as supplies, Amazon.
Amazon,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, Amazon. So, and then offline, that's something I can share with you if you want to see. I actually have like the link right in there to order in the Excel spreadsheet. So you
Oh,
can,
wonderful.
yeah, so you can just pass it on to whomever and they'll know to order. Yeah.
That's perfect. Awesome. Well, hey, this is very much like a 5,000 foot overview of these systems. And so hopefully people can see though that through these systems, you're not full-time Airbnb. You're out there, you're developing, you're doing a lot of different types of real estate investing where Airbnb is kind of your passive on the inside, which is awesome. So I just want to ask, before we kind of wrap this up, is there any other advice, any words of encouragement, anything at all that you want to share in regards to Airbnb?
Yeah. If you want to do Airbnb, get Kyle for your mentor because he's doing it. I'm telling you, I'm so serious. True story. There is someone, and I will not, say names, who is, saying, "Oh, I'm a coach," when they actually have my client on there as a bonus and they have never supported or taught them anything. And so that's the difference between someone who's actually doing what it is you want to do and they can really show you and they can prove versus someone who's kind of taking information and then marketing it and selling it when it's just everything is not what it seems in real estate. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. So
There's a lot of pretenders out
I
there.
obviously feel good about you and what you're doing and you being tried and true. So get a mentor.
Oh, thank you. And I did not give her any sort of incentive to say that. So
He didn't, not at all. But when he said system, this is the acronym that I learned that makes sense. With a system, you save yourself time, energy, and money. So
yes, absolutely.
nope, I wasn't
Amen.
paid to say that.
Amen. Hey, thank you, Tashiona, for helping our viewers and audience to not only conquer real estate investing, but conquer Airbnb. And we are just looking forward to seeing some people take some action just based on what you shared today. Thank you so much. So some of you are listening to that episode and things are clicking for you, and that's awesome. If you were not on that page, but you want to be on that page and are thinking, how do I learn more about this Airbnb thing? All you've got to do is on Facebook, just go to Airbnb Masterminds. It's a group that I've started that is literally on a daily basis teaching people how to start an Airbnb business, how to systematize it better. There's tips, there's tricks, there's secrets, there's methods, there's templates, there's everything that you need in order to be confident in starting an Airbnb on your own. So make sure you're going on Facebook, Airbnb Masterminds. That's what you're searching. Now, if you're not on Facebook and you want to get connected, then make sure you are going to my page on fearlessflipping.com/consultation, where you can book a free 15-minute consultation with me about Airbnb. We can get connected. I can get you the resources that you need if you're not on Facebook. Now, when it comes to this interview, once again, the show notes are going to be fearlessflipping.com/king, where you can recap everything that Tashiona talks about, and especially with those systems and some of those resources that she talks about, with Guesty and a few other things there that are helping to systematize everything in her business. That's exactly what you can research right there on the show notes, fearlessflipping.com/king. So I hope that this has been inspiring for you. I hope that you will take this into action and go conquer real estate investing. We will see you next time.